Welcome once again to Octane Mobile Gaming. Yours truly, Octane. We got a really good deck for this week, Fire Commander event. It's a mechanics that we've seen before with the K-pop deck. That's the deck that we got when Legendary was released in Korea. And what your ultimate form will do, it will create 4 Fire Power Gem 4s, while Jaunted, this is doubled. So basically, Jaunted actually powers up the deck. It will power up basically, I think it's your Master Collection card, your Ultimate Form, and your main card, or the event card basically. It's got a 5-turn cooldown, which is not too bad, because in Commander event, your deck doesn't really has to be a quick deck. It just has to be a powerful deck. But a 2-turn deck would be much better, which this deck is really, I would say it's a 3-turn deck, because it's got a passive on it, or 4-turn deck. It's got a passive on it, which every 3 turns it create 4 Firepower Gem 3s, and while Jaunted is active, it will actually double the amount of Firepower Gem it creates passively. So what you can do is pop your cards, activate your Ultra Rare or your support card, which will have Jaunted, because your deck is normally powered up by your Ultra Rare or your support cards. Not exclusively, but normally it's powered up by those 2 cards. So wait until your board is populated by your relics, then you activate your support card or your Ultra Rare. They will activate your Jaunted, and once Jaunted is active, I think it lasts for 3 turns. On the 3rd turn, you activate your battle skill. Passively, you will create 4 Firepower Gem 3s, and while Jaunted is active, it will double the amount of power gems that you create passively, so you can get a maximum of 8 Firepower Gems from your passive on this particular card. But this card is also got a second passive, where each time you attack, it will create 5 gems and 2 Firepower Gem 4s, which is not bad. So this card creates quite a good amount of power gems, which is really good. So Chaotic Killer is your killer skill for this week, and we're gonna talk a bit about killer skill a little bit later. So we're gonna have a look at our Master Collection card. So your Master Collection card will create 4 Firepower Gem 3s, while Jaunted is active. This is doubled. Again, it's got the passive where it will create 4 Firepower Gem 3s, and while Jaunted is active, this will be doubled. So your Master Collection card as well can create a maximum of 8 Firepower Gem 3s passively. So both passive, the passive on your Ultimate Form and your passive on your Master Collection card, can give you 16 Firepower Gem 3s passively. Plus their battle skill will create, their battle skill can create a maximum of 8 Firepower Gem 3s as well. So this card on its own can give you 16 Firepower Gem 3s, and your Master Collection card can give you even more. So this card along with your Ultimate Form is 2 really good cards. As I said, I've got them the Light Affinity version of this particular deck, and it is really powerful, it's really good, and it's quite quick as well. So this is your Ultra Rare, and your Ultra Rare will become immune to damage for 1 turn. If hit by an enemy attack while immune, heal for 1000% of hero recovery, and cleanse all debuff affecting your team. which makes this card really powerful. A card that can cleanse all debuff is a really good card. Really spectacular. But that's not all. If attack while immune, gain Jaunted and gain 25% damage reduction for 3 turns. Increase Fire Commander attack by 10%. So you can see that this battle skill does quite a bit. The only thing with this battle skill, if you're hit by Toxin, if you hit by Toxin, which affects your ability to heal, this skill actually will not work. And if you're hit by Weaken as well, this battle skill will not work because it actually boosts the attack. So any card that boosts the attack of your deck, if it's hit by Weaken, your battle skill is basically no use. And if you heal, Toxin will render your battle skill useless. The passive on this one, each time this hero attacks, it creates 4 fire gems and 2 firepower gem 4s. This card is a really good card, but as I said, it's got its downfall, which is if it's hit by Toxin or Weaken, it will not work. And your passives won't work if you're hit by Gem Silence, which, as long as you're not hit by Toxin or Weaken, you can activate your battle skill and it will cleanse all debuff. So your support card for this week is this one. Let's look at the 5-star stat. It's basically a downgraded version of your ultra rare. Become immune to damage for 1 turn. If hit by an enemy's attack while immune, heal for 300% of your recovery. So whereas your ultra rare heal for 1000% of your recovery, this, when it gets up to 6-star, will heal for probably 500%, which is half of what your ultra rare would heal for. So if you are above 200 Fire Commander skill point, gain Jaunted for 3 turns. So this one, basically you have to have 200 Fire Commander skill point to actually get Jaunted going. So the ultra rare is a far better version than your support card. Jaunted power up certain skills, and we know it will power up your main card, your Master Collection card, and your Ultimate Form. So your support card, if you can get the ultra rare, it's better to get the ultra rare than relying on the support card to power up your Jaunted. And I think 2 copies of the ultra rare would be far better. So the 3 cards that we need for this week, one is a Dragon Dancer, one is Infernal Squall, and one is, I think it's Eva. Infernal Squall is the best of the 3, but she wouldn't be much use in this particular event. So let's see if we can have a look at our main card. So the main card for this week will create 4 Firepower Gem 1s while Jaunted. This is doubled. It's got a passive on it, which is quite good. It's not often you see a main card or the event card carrying the same passive as the Master Collection card and the Ultimate Form. Every free turn it will create 4 Firepower Gem 1s. So if you're a free to play player and you get 2 copies of this card, it's not too bad. If you're lucky enough to get free, you can create just a bit of Firepower Gems, but it's not going to be too powerful because it's a downgraded version of your Master Collection card. But the deck in and of itself is a really good deck. It's really powerful and it's really quick. As I said, I've got the light version, which is this one, and as you can see, the battle skills are just the same. It creates 4 light power gem 4s. If you are dancing, this is doubled. It's got 2 passive as well. Every free turn create 4 fire power gem 3s, and each time this hero attack, it will create 4 light power gem and 2 light power gem 4s. So it's basically the same, similar mechanics. And as I said, this one is really good, it's really powerful, it's really quick. So if you are looking for a fire commander deck, this is a good one to get. Don't let it pass you by. However, my tip to free-to-play players is concentrate primarily on Slayer decks. And if you are lucky enough to get commander cards, then you can create your commander deck. So say for example, you've got the dust, you can craft the deck, but you don't really need the deck because you're concentrating on your Fire Slayer decks. Then if you are lucky enough to get, say, probably Master Collection card, it probably would be worth your while just crafting the deck, because that's what happened to me. I crafted the deck because I got a card and I decided just to get the light Slayer deck. But let's have a look at the decks that I'll be running for this week. So this week, this is my main deck that I'll be running, and it's got the Easter deck, which is the Stone Tech deck, and it's also got the ultra rare for, I think it's the last Fire Commander event, Engulf Pandora. I really spend a lot of gems trying to get the Master Collection card for this deck, but unfortunately I didn't get it. So I'm gonna see if I can spend at least 2,000-3,000 gems, see if I can get the Master Collection card for this one and create the ultimate form. If not, my second option is to actually run this combination. Now I know this is a Slayer deck, but let me show you in the news link. No, that's not the news link. So in the news link, you can always see the 2 skills for that particular event. So the main skill is Chaotic Killer, and the secondary skill is Noble Killer. And this is why I say concentrate first and foremost on your Slayer decks, because this is a Slayer deck, a Fire Slayer deck, but I've got 4 killer skill on this particular deck. I'm only short of 1 of the killer skill. So my Fire Slayer collection is almost completed. So I've got Noble Killer, I've got Immortal Killer, I've got Arcane Killer, and I've also got Chaotic Killer. So I've got 4 out of 5. So this deck actually carries the 2 killer skill that is needed for this week Fire Commander event. It's not going to be a very powerful deck within the event because it's a Slayer deck, but it's got 2 boosts. It's got the affinity boost because it's fire, and it will have the killer skill, so it gets the boost for the killer skill. So I can do quite a bit of damage. I'm also running Despot of Despair, which has a nuke on the end, which is not really that good for commander events, but I've only got 1 card with nuke damage. All the rest of the cards are power gem spawners. So I'm anticipating this deck doing fairly well within the event. And this is one of the reasons why I said what I said. Try and concentrate first and foremost on your Slayer decks. Get your Slayer collection completed. So your Slayer collection in each affinity should consist of the 5 killer skill. So far I've managed to get my fire up to 4 for killer skill, and I'm only looking for 1 deck with the final killer skill. As soon as I get that final killer skill on my Fire Slayer collection, I'll be focusing mainly on my Fire Commander decks. So I've noted down most of the decks that I've got, and I know all the skills that I need. So the only skill I'm remaining to get on the fire, because I've got Noble, Immortal, Chaotic, and Arcane. So I think, what's the last one? The last one that I'm looking for, so Beast, Noble, Immortal, Chaotic, Arcane. So fire. So I have got Beast on my fire deck. I think this one is a Beast killer, isn't it? Nah, that one is Immortal. That one is Arcane. This is Chaotic. And this one is Noble. So I'm short of Beast. So I'm only short of the Beast. I'm short of the Beast killer skill on this particular combination, which is not bad. So finally I got up to 10,000 coins in the proving ground, and I did manage to get the card that I really wanted. So the card that I really wanted was, and as you can see, it's no longer in the stores. So you can literally only get one copy of any one of these cards from the store. So I had this card before, Grandeur Loudon, and I needed its ultra rare to create its ultimate form, and I did get it, and I did manage to create the ultimate form. Unfortunately, it consumed the card, so I haven't got the card available anymore. Network hasn't implemented the new system where all cards which are required to create the ultimate form actually has the corresponding soul. So I had to use the card, but now I've got that, and I've got literally 3 killer skill within my Dark Slayer collection, which is not too bad. So those are 2 of the decks that I'm running for this week: my Slayer deck and my Stone Tech deck. But tomorrow we'll look at possible deck combination where we will see what I've got within my Fire Commander collection. And then this is one of the worst deck ever, absolutely useless, but it's got the killer skill. So the killer skill is actually Beast Killer, which might come in handy later on. So that's all I've got for you today, but tomorrow we'll do possible deck combination. So we'll see what I've got in my arsenal, and then we can come up with a few combination, and hopefully you've got cards, similar cards, or even better cards, where you can come up with a more powerful deck where you can actually place quite high on the solo leaderboard. So we only have got one more event. This is the last event until the season ends. So the season ends in 5 days and 7 hours. I've only got 400 points to collect to actually get them to get the final. So it's so I've got 2 of these already, and this will be my 3rd. I only need to collect 2 more, and I'm really in a good position to actually get the skin. 565. Hopefully that will enable me to get the skin. So let me know how you're doing with the season collection. Let me know if you have actually got anything from the vault. Like, subscribe, and as always, is Octane saying I'll see you tomorrow on possible deck combination. Bye for now.